surge of immigrants into the United States, and many are making Wycomico. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Hunter Landon. Welcome to the news at 11. We are following breaking news tonight out of Newcastle County. Delaware State Police say 3 people were injured by gunfire following a shooting at the Christiana Mall. A car crash into a Dover home killed a woman inside early this morning. This video shows the aftermath on Forest Avenue. We have comprehensive live coverage tonight. WBOC's Kirsten Clark spoke with startled neighbors. But we begin with Jack Ford live at the Laurel Police Department with the latest on the investigation. Jack? After the snow comes digging out. Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us here tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm Hunter Landon. New at 7 tonight, the snow coupled with frigid temperatures making for some icy conditions on roads and sidewalks today. WBOC's Lauren Miller takes us to Milford, where folks are beginning the process of digging out. Thank you for joining us. Maryland's sales tax is under the microscope in Annapolis. A bill on the table aims to lower the sales tax from 6% down to 5%. At first glance, that may seem great, but the other part of that bill is what is sparking debate. The legislation would also expand the sales tax to include additional goods and services. As WBOC's Lauren Miller reports, many small business owners are not happy. Black Friday may be over, but the shopping did continue today. Small Business Saturday came to downtowns and cities and towns across Delmarva, including, as you see there, in Salisbury, which had special deals along Main Street from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Many vendors, as you see, setting up shop right in the street.
A quick question for you, Hunter. What would happen if a school district does not implement the provisions of that blueprint?
So the law allows the state to withhold funding from school districts if it determines that those districts are not meeting the requirements of the rollout.
All right. Thank you, Hunter Landon.
Steve, the verdict guilty on all counts. Austin Jacob Allen Davidson being found guilty most notably of first-degree murder in the death of Corporal Glenn Hilliard. Second-degree murder guilty as well. Steve, cautious optimism are the operative words here at Heather Mazier's watch party tonight. We've seen the candidate mixing and mingling with voters, and they are hopeful that she will be able to make history not just as the first woman elected here, but also the first openly gay person elected to serve the 1st Congressional District. I just stepped out of the courthouse here behind me. Judge Trevor McFadden finding Kevin and Hunter Seafried guilty on 5 counts that they were tried on together. Those counts largely related to their unauthorized entrance into the Capitol building on January 6th. Speaker Jones, it's Hunter Landon with WBOC. I had a couple of quick questions for you. I was wondering if you had any comments on removing Cherie Sample Hughes from her leadership position. Steve, police say 23-year-old Nicholas Sapp Evans was taken into custody within the last hour. Taking a live look from Chopper 16, there's still a police presence on the scene.
Hey there, Jackie. Good afternoon. Well, the only thing that Crisfield is known better for than crabs is flooding, and we're still dealing with some of that flooding from Tropical Storm Ophelia over the weekend. They've got the vacuum truck out here right now, but a good section of the parking lot here is blocked off by flooding. Walk with me this way. I want to show you that's not stopping, folks. As you can see here, a ton of tents that are set up here. This is really where politics and seafood meet.
In a WBOC News exclusive, Sheriff Mike Lewis says a deputy left a canine, Roxy, in the back of his patrol car with the air conditioner running. When the deputy returned to check on the animal, the AC was not working and she had died. WBOC's Hunter Landon is live at the Wycomico County Sheriff's Office this evening. Hunter, this has now sparked an internal and criminal investigation.
Steve, this happened on July 29th at the deputy's home in Sharptown. This was a day where heat index values were well into the 100s. Sheriff Lewis calls this inexcusable and says the deputy will be held accountable. This is K9 Roxy, a 7-year-old Malinois and a longtime member of law enforcement. Sheriff Mike Lewis says Roxy spent the last moments of her life in the back of a patrol car like this one, behind metal bars, baking in the scorching summer sun.
I know the deputy and our canine family are very distraught over the loss of this beautiful animal. She was very much a part of our everyday lives here at the Wycomico County Sheriff's Office. The deputy did not intentionally do this, but there was definitely negligence involved on his part, no question about it, and it's going to be dealt with.
Sheriff Lewis says the deputy who handles Roxy left her in a backyard kennel during a child's birthday party. but moved Roxy to the car, believing she would get too excited by the party.
He checked on the dog periodically. The dog appeared to be okay. He went to check on the dog again, and the dog was deceased, and what was blowing out cold air was now blowing out warm air inside of the vehicle.
The sheriff says AC issues in patrol cars has been an ongoing issue. The deputy's car was equipped with this, a hot and pop, which is designed to roll the windows down and sound the siren if temperatures inside become too hot.
That was not activated, it was not plugged in, and it's not that it wasn't working properly, wasn't plugged in. Those are all factors that have to be considered, especially when you're a canine handler and you're putting your partner in a hot car.
A tragic death of a member of the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Lewis said he could not share the deputy's identity with us. The criminal investigation has now been completed, according to the sheriff. It's been handed over to the Dorchester County State's Attorney's Office to avoid any conflict. Now, that is where any charges in this case would stem from. Now, an internal investigation is still underway. Sheriff Lewis tells us that that deputy is still on the job, but he's no longer working with canines. Live in Wicomico County, Hunter Landon, WBOC News, Delmarva's news leader.
We begin with WBOC's Hunter Landon and Chopper 16 with more on the most tragic moment to come from the tornado, which is the death of a Greenwood man inside his collapsed home.
Daniel Ballwell's property is unrecognizable from how it once looked. Taking a look from Chopper 16, it even looks quite different than it did yesterday. That's because the family has been joined by volunteers throughout the community to organize what is left of Ballwell's personal belongings into piles. The mailbox is one of the only things left standing at 11381 Tuckers Road. 78-year-old Daniel Ballwell was the only person to die Saturday night as the tornado bared down on his longtime home. His grandson, Edward Howell, starts up his grandfather's tractor as the family continues to organize the mess made by Mother Nature.
Just always there if you needed him, and would just pick you up and you'd spend an entire day with him or days with him, or if we need to spend the night, we would just run across the field and hang out with him and Grandma, and he was responsible for our sugar habits and our coffee habits. So.
Howell says he would put his grandfather up against just about any other.
Always there for his family, pick us up on Sundays, take us out for breakfast and coffee. We'd go get lost, which now I realize was just hiding from my grandmother.
This caution tape cordons off where Ballwell died. These before and after pictures show just how much damage the tornado did to the property. Ballwell's family says he spent much of his life at this more than 100-year-old home.
The farm itself has been in the family since 1913, 1914 time period. And his grandfather, his father, and him have now all passed away inside the house.
A family grieving a husband, father, grandfather, and brother they will never forget. Back now in Chopper 16, Ballwell's wife Connie was also here in the home when the tornado hit. She suffered minor injuries. The Ballwell family tells us they are still trying to decide if they will rebuild here. Live in Chopper 16, Hunter Landon, WBOC News, Delmarva's news leader.